Welcome, everyone. Today we are talking with Mike Amato from Land & Coats, and we're going to talk about easily managing the parts of successful B2B e-commerce. Couple items on the agenda. We're going to start off with housekeeping. This is being recorded, so if you would like to share this after the webinar with any of your coworkers, it will be a link to it will be emailed out. Obviously, from a housekeeping standpoint, there is a bubble within Zoom. This is being hosted on a Zoom meeting for Q&A. We're going to try and keep Q&A to the end, but if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A chat, and before we wrap up, we'll answer as many questions as we can. Other than that, we're going to jump into introductions. We're going to hear a little bit about the story of Land & Coats, and then Mike is going to do a great job demoing their 3 different sites and brands. And we'll wrap up with Q&A, and if we have time, we'll even talk about some fun things and go through a lightning round. But why don't we start off with introductions? Mike, do you want to introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Hey, I'm Mike Amato. I'm the marketing and e-commerce manager for Land & Coats and Tidewater Power Equipment out of Norfolk, Virginia.
And I'm Tom Flierl. I basically head up sales and marketing at Amato Commerce, the parent company of Znode. And I work on both the Znode product as well as the Artify product we have, which is for product customization. All right, Mike, why don't you give us an introduction to Land & Coats? You guys have a couple brands, you have some unique business models, but do you want to explain to everybody that's with us today about the business model for Land & Coats?
Certainly. So Land & Coats Outdoor Power Equipment is a B2B and B2C entity. The B2B part serves customers such as landscapers and municipalities, and then the B2C side covers all end consumers. Land & Coats is family owned and operated, been in business for over 75 years, headquartered in warehouse in Norfolk, Virginia, with 7 retail locations throughout Southeast Virginia.
Got it. And do you want to talk a little bit about the other brands that are combined with Land & Coats, Mike? Because it is really, you're responsible for more than just one entity here.
Correct. So on the other side of things is Tidewater Power Equipment, and Tidewater Power Equipment is strictly a B2B distributor of outdoor power equipment throughout the East Coast.
And so Tidewater actually sells to other distributors that sell to other entities. So you have almost like a B2B model, but there's a third B and they're in the distribution means, correct?
Well, generally it's us to like a Land & Coats type customer who would sell on from that point, sure.
Got it. And then you have one other brand, which is Jackdo Parts. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we're a distributor of Jackdo. They're a backpack sprayer company, and Tidewater Power distributes for them, and we handle their e-commerce efforts.
Got it. Okay. So 3 unique brands, 3 unique entities, and also 3 unique business models as well, and customer. Sure. Awesome. Tell us a little bit about why Znode. I mean, you're obviously volunteering to be on this webinar today. Like, tell us about your journey and what brought you to Znode.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think the main thing was the ability for it to integrate with our ERP system, which we use Epicore's Profit 21. That was a big one for us, and I believe we were the first P21 integration we did with you guys, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So there was that. The ability for multi-store, like you said, we have multiple different channels here, all vastly different, and we wanted to get them under kind of centrally managed under one e-commerce platform.
Got it. What about the use of PIM, themes, CMS, any other features that stand out in managing different brands and stores?
Well, the fact that there's fully customized themes, the PIM, and then the CMS as well, because the current ones we were using, there was kind of a lack of customization there. So,
absolutely. And you have a lot of product information that you need to manage. I think you also integrate to get data feeds from third-party services, correct?
Correct. So we use ARI on the Land & Coats side. They do the whole website. They did the whole website from soup to nuts.
Your old website, right?
The old one, correct. The old Land & Coats site. Now, as far as the problem there was that you're reliant mostly on their data, which in some points is good, in some points not so much.
Got it. And for those that may not be familiar with the outdoor power equipment market, do you want to talk? So ARI is they actually have their own proprietary web platforms, but they also own the product data for power equipment, correct?
That's correct. All the
Okay.
IPLs, which are the illustrated parts list, that all is fed from ARI.
And you're still using that as a service in Znode today, correct?
Well, just one point, and that's one I'll show you in a bit here, is we're using one product they have called PartSmart, which is their clickable IPLs. That's kind of one piece. They have an API we were able to bolt into Znode.
Got it. Awesome. Well, that said, do you want to jump in, Mike? And do you want to give a quick demo?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to let you take over.
Okay. So here we have the landing code site. Now, again, this can be used for B2B customers as well as B2C customers. Basically, most everything stems out of search. So this is generally how people are finding what they're looking for. Obviously, it's ideal if you have your part number. If you don't have your part number, you can type in belt. I mean, it'll give you a ton of them, though. It'll give you 200 belts. So this is where the ARI piece that we bolted on here works, and this is our part finder. So basically, here you have your brands. Probably some of these are recognizable to people. Pick Honda. And then it drops it down based on category, mowers, generators. And then again, there's still quite a bit you can search through. You can go by model number, and I'll just put one in here. 7. And again, it gives you more. You can click into it. Now, these are the illustrated parts list here, and they're by like air cleaner, battery, camshaft, carburetor. So we'll just pick this guy here.
Now, Mike, are we actually in Znode right now, or are we in the ARI product right now?
Well, you're in a little bit of both here because you've got this is the actual like the data smart piece right here. But like if you click on let's say this is the part you need, then it pulls from Znode, gives you your description, gives you your price. You can actually go into a product detail page, and you can actually see stock. So this is all coming out of Znode.
Sure.
So we use it kind of alongside of it. But this was a neat feature because again, these are very important to a lot of people to be able to go in there because there's hundreds of parts on some of these outdoor power equipment. So you know you need this one bolt, but so there's that part, and you can just add to cart. And all of that it's all very much what people are used to seeing.
And so you're using API services from both ARI and from Znode to bring together the experience.
Yes, correct.
Awesome.
And then again, it's a very, very straightforward checkout process.
And I'm assuming, Mike, that you said it's B2C and B2B. So if people aren't logged in, they get traditional MSRP pricing. But if they do log in, I'm assuming that you have contract pricing with different entities and they get their specific negotiated price.
Right now, we've got like a price level 1 and price level 2.
Okay.
But obviously, we can break it out as granular as needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've got 2 different price catalogs in there for Znode.
Okay. And I'm assuming that's being pulled from the ERP real time or a batch?
That's coming in a batch. Yeah, we're not pulling the pricing real time.
Okay.
We do make there's some calls we make real time. There's just so many of them to bog down the system.
Yeah, I would also assume that it's not that dynamic. Pricing isn't being updated every 20 minutes. So there's no real time.
No.
Okay.
So that's kind of the 5-second landing code thing. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward here, what it does. Go ahead and move on real quick to Tidewater Power.
Sure.
I was actually in here already, so this one's still in stage, so it's going to be a little on the slower side. Some stuff may not be complete. We're launching this one in a couple weeks. So here you've got just this is pretty much just your front-facing website anyone can see, shows our product lines. But this is one where once you get a login, now login is generated out of our ERP, and you're able to log in and see kind of your account deals. So got order history. Order history is just pulled straight from Znode. Pending orders, address book, all the stuff you'd expect to see on an account page. It's got a quick order, which again, this is a Znode piece where you can pretty much just go in if you know your part number.
Nice.
You can add them.
Yeah, and just a reminder to everybody watching this is a staging site right now because this site hasn't launched.
Correct. Again, you can add these to cart and it all shows up there. So that's just your basic quick order. That's something that people have asked us about. That's what our customers are kind of used to. Again, order history, straight out of Znode, kind of customized to what we wanted to show. Invoice history, this pulls out of our ERP. So this, again, invoice history, people ask for it. It's supposed to having to send them. We've gone in, customized it. People can go on there, see what they paid, see what they owe. All kind of right there.
This is great. This is all the native theme that comes with Znode as well.
Correct. Again, this one doesn't have like the IPL, so most people are going to search right off a part number. Again, these are going to stores and people that know the parts already. They're going to come in here, place these orders, and be out the door. That's why the quick order pad. And again, the stuff we did here in Tidewater Power will push over to the other sites as well, because we've built more functionality on here with Tidewater Power, and then we'll backtrack that to Landing Codes.
And Mike, I'm assuming that the companies that order from Tidewater Power are probably ordering in bulk, whereas the people or entities that are ordering from Landing Codes probably are not ordering as much in bulk. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's probably safe to say. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So again, you've got this is your strict B2B model here. No B2C involved. Like I said, you have to have an account, have to log in. Again, you'll get your pricing as it should be, which is a list price, or not a list price. This is kind of your dealer price. And then one of Tidewater Power's companies we distribute for is Jackdo. Now, Jackdo is a sprayer company. Yeah, we broke this. This one's a little bit different because this is a B2C site. So it's going to be a little bit more traditional B2C, where you want to buy a sprayer. Okay, you hop on here, see your sprayer. It's not like buying a bolt. So obviously there's going to be bullet points and it's going to tell you a little bit about it. Again, this is all coming out of Znode.
And you have exclusive rights to distribute Jackdo in the United States, correct?
We do.
Okay, so this is a site selling primarily in North America.
Only continental US at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's Jackdo throughout Jackdo is a Brazilian company, so they're based out of there.
Okay.
So again, you'll have parts, accessories, and just the stuff you'd expect to see on a B2C type site.
Sure.
Now we have parts lists here. Now these aren't interactive like on the Landing Code site, because these are just essentially PDFs here. They give you a breakdown, but it gives you all the breakdown. It tells you the part number. This is good for people that call into like our customer service and they need, like, I need a parts list or what have you. Come on here, print it out, save the PDF.
I bet there's some efficiency in this versus talking to the customer service rep, correct?
Yeah, if anything, so they don't have to spend, spend 20 minutes on the phone trying to say, what is this widget that I have here, and trying to help the person with it. It's all here and it kind of at your fingertips.
Nice.
So it gives us some automation involved there.
Yeah, a B2C experience, but it's really a B2B product and aftermarket parts as well for B2B.
For sure. For sure.
Nice.
So those are kind of the three different sites and the three different ways we've utilized Znode there to bring it all under one umbrella.
Sure. Three different brands, three different sites, probably three different customer segments, but all centrally managed on Znode.
Yep.
All right. The big question we always ask, Mike, what was life like before this?
Well, I'm gonna stop. I'll go and stop sharing there.
Sure.
Well, I think number one thing is the lack of like centralization. Everything was kind of all over the place. We were using, you know, ARI on one side with virtually no back end there. Then we had ECC on one side for TPE with Magento in the back end there. And then Jacto was non-existent prior. And then with that comes, multiple tech stacks,
Right.
just layers upon layers of just different things going on. So to be able to get it all under one umbrella, kind of ball it all together, is very helpful.
Nice. Nice.
I think also landing codes on the old site had e-commerce capabilities, but they definitely weren't at the forefront. It wasn't integrated with the ERP. There's no real-time data. It was kind of like whatever ARI gave you, that's kind of what you had. So also on the ARI side, lack of customization. The CMS was almost non-existent there. So you really kind of had to go with the theme that they created.
Sure.
And along with that come, limited customer support.
Yeah. I'm assuming that you're living in the API world now where getting data from ARI, getting data from P21, your ERP, everything is much easier to transmit data back and forth with third-party systems and then present it into that user experience.
Yeah, for sure. It's almost all API based at this point.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, we have a couple of minutes left, but what's next for Land & Codes?
Well, the next thing, again, in the next coming couple of weeks is to get the Tidewater Power piece up and going. At that point, we're going to do our Znode upgrade, get that up to date. And then we'll kind of circle back around to Land & Codes and kind of see. Right now, we're kind of trying to figure out where we want to kind of house that right now, whether we want to do it out of one of our brick and mortar stores. We want to run it out of our headquarters, our warehouse here. So that's going to be the next thing. And that's going to be kind of not so much with TPE, more so like with Jacto, is kind of getting it out there to the people. We're going to work with our marketing company to do some SEO implementation to get some traffic up there, and then kind of determine, based on that metrics and where we can do better and how we can grow that.
Got it. Yeah, and there's a strategy question there. Do you use your branches as warehouses, or do you centralize your warehouse? It sounds like that's probably more of a strategy question and an ops question than an e-commerce question at this point, right?
Yeah, it is, and I think it's one that still has to be explored. Because the one advantage if we did it from our stores is the ability to have people do pickup in store,
Right.
Obviously. So for your landscaper that's out there in the field and snaps a belt where they can go on their phone, order it, just go to the store and grab it, whichever store is closest to them, obviously is ideal. Now that's good in a local aspect, but then obviously we're thinking Land & Codes as a nationwide e-commerce solution. So obviously we have the infrastructure here within our warehouse to maybe fulfill that a little bit faster or more efficiently.
Sure. That makes sense. Do you have territory limitations, or can you sell nationwide?
Land & Codes is pretty wide open.
Okay.
Tidewater Power, we're in Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee. So we're bound by that on the Tidewater Power side, not so much on the Land & Codes retail side of things.
Got it. Okay. Awesome. Well, I think with that, Mike, we actually have time for a lightning round. We get to talk about some personal stuff before we wrap up.
Sure.
You're in Norfolk, Virginia.
Yep.
It's summertime. What are you doing for fun?
Well, one one thing, we're here in Norfolk. I'm in Virginia Beach, so we're right down by the ocean front. And one thing that I tend to do quite a bit during the year and mostly during the summer is go to concerts. We have an amphitheater here for the bigger shows. They're always putting on shows down at the ocean front. So at least once a week, you'll find me at one of those places during the summer.
And any big shows coming to town you're excited about?
Yeah, they're just starting to be announced now. They usually don't announce those till kind of right before. One that stuck in my mind actually is in September, and it's Foo Fighters. However, I have a prior engagement in Milwaukee that day, so I will not be attending the Foo Fighters.
Yeah, for those of you that are attending this webinar, we kind of planned for that one because Mike cannot make the Foo Fighters because he is speaking at our customer event Grow this year in September. So if you haven't signed up, you can register for that. And Mike, I'm sorry, I feel like when you come to town, we have to have something big planned for you. And I can't promise we're going to have a Foo Fighter equivalent band this year, but thank you for giving up the Foo Fighter concert to speak at Grow this year.
Well, I guess I got a consolation there because this past Sunday, they did do a live stream Sunday afternoon that I caught. So
all right,
I'll chalk that up as to a win.
Yeah, well, that sounds good to us. Well, great. It looks like we don't have any questions in the Q&A bubble, but this was awesome, Mike. We really appreciate you. We appreciate you being a customer. It sounds like you're having some great success on Znode, and we appreciate you sharing all of your information and everything you've learned with other Znode customers and people who are considering Znode for their business as well. So thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And for all of you that attended today, again, this is being recorded. It will be sent out via email after this, and it will be available on Znode's YouTube channel and on znode.com. And thanks again, and have a great day. And again, thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Tom.